In a new post to Truth Social, President-elect Trump said that he will not invite former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley to join his administration. Well, he did offer her the position of secretary. That's it. Just secretary.
Yes. Well, it's not like she's an intern in Bill Clinton's White House or anything like that. And this is the propaganda apparatus of the Democrat Party. The 24-hour brainwash is ongoing. Aren't they amazing? Now, how much money has the Biden-Harris regime spent on buying votes by paying off student debt? How much? At another $4.5 billion just a few days ago. It's been more than $175 billion. $175 billion that the Democrats have used to buy votes by paying off student debt. And so people that didn't go to college, people that went to city college, people that, work in the trades are being asked to pay off the student loans of people that went to Harvard and George Washington University and on and on and on across the country. Now, that doesn't seem very fair to me. That's not equity from where I sit. Fascinating. I'm a city college guy. I never took on any debt at all. I worked a landscaper and at a pizza place and various other things, and I didn't get into debt, so I didn't look for anybody to pay off my student debt. I didn't look for anybody to pay for me to go to college, but never mind that. Now the media and the Democrats, but I repeat myself, very upset because the Trump incoming administration talking about deporting masses of illegal aliens, throngs of people that are in the country illegally, which is illegal. And remarkably, the Democrat Party today is pro-illegal and they're anti-legal. They're not on our side, you see. That's one of the many things about them. And President Trump has announced that Tom Homan, former ICE director, at least acting, and career border law enforcement official, Homan is now coming in, and so far the title that we're being told he will have is Border Czar. Border Czar. And as a result, the Fox News headline, Border Patrol, ICE, morale surging. Their morale for Border Patrol and ICE has been plummeting since the radical left-wing extremists of the Democrat Party took over. So Border Patrol, ICE morale surging after Trump election win. They know they can get the bad guys now, is the headline. Isn't that amazing? Because Tom Homan is coming in as Border Czar, and perhaps a more official title later, perhaps not. But he is would be fair to say, no-nonsense kind of guy. And amazing stuff. Now, President Trump tweeted, Tom Homan will be joining the Trump administration in charge of our nation's border. The Border Czar. There is nobody better at policing and controlling our borders. Likewise, Tom Homan will be in charge of all deportation of illegal aliens back to their country of origin. That's what President Trump tweeted out about Tom Homan being his pick as Border Czar. And it's kind of funny calling him Border Czar. It's not an official government title, secretary of this or director of that, but it is Kamala Harris's title when she was supposed to be the Border Czar, and we had more illegal aliens come into the country than at any point in the history of the United States of America, and that's true. We may have had 12 million people come into the country illegally under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And I like to remind people that Ellis Island in New York was open as the gateway to America for legal immigration for 62 years. 62 years. And over the course of that 62 years, 12 million people came into the country through Ellis Island legally, including young Vito Andolini from Corleone, Italy. a town in Sicily. But never mind that. That's not important now. So let me go to Tom Homan. That was a fictional character for Democrats listening along. But let's go to Tom Homan, because Tom Homan, he appeared on 60 Minutes, where they're very upset with him that he might deport people that are in the country illegally. Many of them, not all of them, many of them, gang members, raping, murdering, robbing, being all around bad people. And they should be kicked out of the country like that, lickety-split. Now let's go to Tom Homan from 60 Minutes, where they're very upset. Oh, no, you're going to deport people? But, boy, that's expensive, isn't it?
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
One estimate.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is it worth it?
I don't know. Is it worth it? You want September 11th? What did that cost? That cost $88 billion. How much did that cost? And again, $175 billion on student debt relief. Excuse me? How much to Ukraine? How much have we sent to Ukraine? More than $88 billion? Yes, a lot more than $88 billion. And who's in charge of the peace talks? Just curious. So Tom Homan said, well, it's national security. What's that worth? And then this one made me laugh, because they always do that, like they care about families, not their own families, not your families, but illegal alien gang member, child sex trafficking, drug trafficking families. They care about El Chapo's family. Is it El Chapo or El Chapo? I think maybe El Chapo. El Chapo's family. So here she is on 60 Minutes, very concerned about families. Again, not yours, just illegal alien families.
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is.
Sure.
Families can be deported together.
See? The family that deports together, exports together. What I don't know what they... wait a minute, you came here illegally with your family. Yeah, of course, we won't separate the family. We'll send them back to Beep Hole Central as a family unit. And they can enjoy, whatever the next holiday is at home as a family. Isn't that wonderful? You guys open the border, you create the chaos, and then you accuse Trump of being an agent of chaos and the president of chaos, when that's the opposite of the truth, of course. You guys create the chaos, and you say, oh, no, you can't deport. What about the families, which they don't care about in any circumstance, families? They call Planned Parenthood family planning. That shows you what they think about families, your family or anybody else's family. Family planning? I'm planning on killing the kids. Oh, darn it, the kids got by me. Well, I hope they kill the grandkids, because, these people. Tom Homan, and he also spoke, he was on Hannity last night on the Fox News Channel, and I talked about this a little while ago, about how Democrats from Governor Gavin Newsom and other governors, Democrat governors in the United States and in Chicago and Los Angeles, are standing up organizations to fight against enforcing our immigration laws and to fight in favor of more illegal aliens, more gang members, more crime, more bad stuff. Like, and then they lie. Then every Democrat tells the same lie. They all have the same brain. They honestly, I think they plug RJ11 jacks into their necks at night, old-fashioned telephone jacks, and they download whatever the party talking points are while they sleep at night, and they get up, because you ask any Democrat, you say, well, these illegal aliens coming, they're gang members, and they're robbing and murdering and killing and all this mayhem, and Democrats say, well, statistics show, there's always a study, that immigrants commit fewer crimes than natural-born Americans. Legal immigrants do commit fewer crimes because we have so many Democrats. Not a lot of Democrats immigrate legally to the United States, but legal immigrants to the United States who go through all the traps and the complications to become legally in America and U.S. citizens in an awful lot of cases, they don't commit a lot of crimes. illegal aliens, the first thing they do is commit a crime. The first step they take into the country is a crime. But never mind that. So Tom Homan on Sean Hannity on Fox News last night talking about how he's going to respond to these Democrat governors and mayors who are saying they're going to fight against the enforcement of our laws on deportations.
I saw today numerous governors from sanctuary states saying they're going to step in the way. They better get the hell out of the way. I'll double the workforce in that sanctuary city. We're going to do our job. Despite the politics, we're doing it. So get used to it because we're coming.
So get used to it because we're coming. I mean, that's actually the tone that ought to be struck on these matters. And, in fact, it should be a little more harsh. You should name the Democrat governors and mayors who are promising to undo the United States of America, the fundamental transformation, more crime. It's illegal immigration. It's not immigration. They're illegal immigrants, not simply immigrants. It's the difference between being a driver on the highway and a drunk driver on the highway. One is perfectly legal and good and just going someplace. The other is illegal. See how that works. Tom Homan also spoke at the Republican National Convention, you may recall.
I got a message. As a guy who spent 34 years deporting illegal aliens, I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that Joe Biden's releasing our country in violation of federal law. You better start packing now. You're damn right. Because you're going home. I got another message to the criminal cartels in Mexico. When President Trump gets back in office, he's going to designate you a terrorist organization, and he's going to wipe you off the face of the earth. You're done. You're done.
To the cartels, they're very unpleasant groups of people. They murder on an industrial scale. They're the bad guys. And I remember when we in the United States were the good guys. I'd like to see us get back to, and you know, the good guys, sometimes you got to play hardball because it's a tough world out there with Putin and the Ayatollah and the cartels and the bad guys. There are bad guys and there are good guys. God, I miss the Soviet Union. Don't you miss the Soviet Union? I do. On The View, they have crazy people on The View. They have a woman who used to self-identify as a Republican. Her name is Ana Navarro. She used to be kind of pleasant. She's gone crazy. I don't know what happens. You hang out with these people on The View and MSNBC, and you lose your stinking mind. Ana Navarro yesterday, pretending to be, you know, like an illegal alien. At least she's a booster for illegal aliens.
A lot of people thought that when he talked about mass deportations, he wasn't being serious. I don't know how many times he had to say it for people to realize he was being serious. Well, if you thought he wasn't being serious, the appointment of Tom Homan today as Border Czar and now Stephen Miller as Deputy Chief of Staff should let you know that he was absolutely serious.
Yeah, well, just in case you didn't, I never thought he wasn't. I don't know why you would think he wasn't serious. I don't know why you would think that, because you're an advocate for open borders and the fundamental transformation of America. And then it got worse because it's your grandma. See, they're just going to be deporting grandmothers.
When you talk about mass deportations, people think, oh, it's just going to be the criminals. What it means is grandmothers. What it means is brothers and aunts. Yep. What it means is abuelos y abuelas.
Abuelas,
Look, America,
abuelas.
You know, those of you who voted for Trump, this is what you wanted. This is what you voted for. You screwed around, and you're about to find out.
No, you screwed around, and you're about to find out. And once again, the opposite of the truth. Remove your head from the dark and remote location into which you have wedged it. And try checking it out. This is what was voted for. You're right. You people couldn't be more clueless. You couldn't be more oblivious. I don't want to call you dumb, so I won't. You know, America's strength isn't just built, it's also worn. For those who put in the hours every day to get things done, G-Defy shoes are made right, and they're made right for you. With patented VersaShock technology, G-Defy shoes, they don't just talk comfort, they engineer comfort. With every step you take, G-Defy shoes help to absorb harmful shock and provide trampoline-like energy return for your feet. My best girl and I, and we've got G-Defy shoes and wear them around the city. Your feet feel better when you're done hiking than they felt before you started hiking. Designed for hardworking people, for parents, for those who stand tall no matter what. All you have to do is go to gdefy.com, G-D-E-F-Y, gdefy.com, and use the code Chris. That's my first name, for $20 off your order of $100 or more. That's the code Chris for $20 off orders of $100, because even champions need to rest. Go to gdefy.com today. Yeah, these people. What's the matter with these people? They always think, I guess because they lie all the time, they just figure that everybody else is lying all the time, too. I think that's called projection, isn't it?
Illegal immigration is illegal.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
And the crowd went wild. Honey, I love you, but we're going to have to fundamentally transform you. Everything about you must change. Fundamental transformation, that's what it's all about. That might suggest that they don't like the country, mightn't it? And Barack Obama, mentored by Communist Party member Frank Marshall Davis, who appointed Communist Party voter John Brennan to be CIA director. John Brennan then corrupted and tampered with our 2020 presidential election with the felonious 51 letter. And consequence-free. It's an absolutely consequence-free life for these people. These people. You know how they are. Who remembers Debbie Was-A-Man Schnitz? Debbie Was-A-Man Schnitz. She was DNC chair, House member, radical, extremist. I don't want to call her a terrorist. So I won't. But she was on the TV. Was she on DNC or CNN? What's the difference, really? Honestly, one of those. And she was asked about the presidential election a week ago today. 1 week ago today. What a week it's been, huh? And you'll be surprised to learn that she lied. She lied about it. Kind of amazing thing. And I've got an amazing World War II story, just a quick, brief World War II story about a Navy ship that was sunk by the Japanese in the Pacific, and we just found it.
At the end of the day, Americans were not misled by the president.
That's Debbie Was-A-Man Schnitz. Debbie Was-A-Man Schnitz. She was reading the teleprompter, I guess, or she had some weird thing going on in her brain. The American people weren't misled. Misled? That was a little dyslexia moment there. The best we could decipher from that is she wanted to say misled. Misled, and she saw the word misled in her little brain, and it came out misled. Misled. Isn't that weird? Misled. That's very strange stuff. That's just one of the many reasons that she is known as Debbie Was-A-Man Schnitz. Schnitz and Gruben. 15 is my limit on Schnitz and Gruben. Now, Debbie was on CNN yesterday. She was on CNN television yesterday. And she was there to talk about the Democrats taking a shellacking in the big presidential election, Senate election, House election last week, 1 week ago today. And she said something crazy. And the CNN anchorette, the little anchoress, was sitting there looking confused. She thought perhaps that Debbie was misling her, maybe trying to leave her misled. Remarkable stuff. Let's go to soundbite number 7. Debbie Wasserman-Schultz on CNN. Hey, boy, the Democrats sure took a beating. Your presidential candidate lost to Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, who's a war hero, without going to Iraq, without carrying a rifle, without being a command sergeant major and all that stuff. And he wasn't really a head coach, and his team he didn't bring his team to the high school team, but never mind that. But here's, and then you lost control of the Senate, which you had control of, and the Lizard King, Chuck Schumer. He's not going to be the Senate majority leader. He might be the Senate minority leader, but now 53 Senate seats out of 100 for Democrats. 53 Senate seats in the hands of the Republicans. And expecting the Republicans, although the Democrats are clawing and they're pulling people out of graves to file absentee votes, trying to steal 1 or 2 more House seats to create as much political pressure and conflict as possible, and, of course, reduce our faith, trust, and confidence in our system of electing leaders. But here's Debbie Wasserman-Schultz on CNN when asked about the shellacking they took last Tuesday.
This was not the wave election that the majority of the media is portraying. Voters had a Trump on the ballot the last 3 elections. We had a very short presidential campaign with our nominee, and there were a lot of other issues as well.
What? This was not the wave election. See this again for 20-year-old voters, first-time voters. Debbie Wasserman-Schultz is a Democrat member of Congress. She was the chair of the Democratic National Committee, the leader of the Democrat Party, and she lies perpetually. She lies constantly. She wouldn't know the truth if the plane crashed into her building. Just amazing stuff. This was not the wave election. We had a short campaign. What does that have? That has got nothing to do with anything. Did all the senators have short campaigns too? She just lies about everything because that's what they do. They lie. Man, I'm telling you. You know what we didn't get to with Ana Navarro on The View was the ridiculous, Joe Biden should pardon Hunter Biden because he didn't do anything wrong. And he never would have been in any trouble at all if his name hadn't been Biden, which is the exact opposite of the truth, 180 degrees off of the truth. Remarkable stuff. But this is the kind of stuff that they just and she used to be a John McCain campaign person. And, I guess Rhino up the yin-yang and listen to this stuff.
What we do know is that Biden is in there for the next 2.5 months. And this is what I'm going to tell Joe. Joe, since they're talking smack about you anyways, you know what, baby? Pardon Hunter.
Yeah.
Pardon Hunter.
That's why you pardon Hunter.
Basically, America just pardoned a criminal.
Yes.
Who was convicted of felonies.
Yeah.
He's probably going to pardon some of the folks from January 6th, those insurrectionists. So you know what? It's your son. He probably wouldn't have been prosecuted if his last name wasn't Biden.
Lie.
Baby, you got 2.5 months. I'm good with you pardoning Hunter.
Everybody should be.
That's all.
Everybody should be, and they all clap like seals. And they all agree on everything. There is no independent thinking going on the left. It's just lockstep, goose-stepping toward doomsday. Remarkable stuff. Yeah, since they're talking smack about you, he's in politics, And thanks to you guys and social media, everybody talks smack about everybody all the time. We live in the talk smackinest time that the world has ever seen. But never mind that. And he should really pardon Trump is what he should do for the phony, ridiculous lawfare that has been waged against him by you leftist radicals. And isn't it funny, just last week they were saying, Trump is such a fascist, he's going to prosecute his political enemies. They say as they are in the midst of prosecuting their political enemies. Again, this projection thing and the Russian playbook. Now, the idiot, corrupt judge in New York, Juan Merchan, we were told that today he would come out and had a major announcement to make about President Trump's trial. Would Juan Merchan, a George Soros radical leftist, extremist, communist, fascist, whatever you want to call him, he's all those things pretty much. New York judge He was going to come out today and announce a decision on Trump sentencing because they want the fascists that they're, I mean, again, literally last week, they were saying Trump is such a fascist, he's going to use the Justice Department and the legal system to go after his political enemies. Well, they have been engaged in going after their political enemies by way of the Justice Department and the FBI and beyond for the last 4 years, the filthy criminals that they are, the fascist pigs. Oh, by the way, there's another story that the lots and lots of leaders at the FBI are talking about resigning and or retiring before Inauguration Day. And that'd be great because if you feel the need to resign or retire before Inauguration Day, then you by all means should be gone because that indicates to me that you're a crook, a political hatchet man. But never mind that. So we're waiting for Judge Merchan to make an announcement today. Would he drop the case against Trump? Would he announce that he would not be attempting to send Trump to prison? But what happened today instead is the crooked Soros leftist radical New York judge agreed to delay any decision on President-elect Trump's criminal hush money case. That's a non-disclosure agreement. And every network and every newspaper that's covering the story, they've entered into non-disclosure agreements with women over incidents occurring in their newspapers, in their newsrooms, at their television news organizations. They've got, and you can call it hush money. These are non-disclosure. They call them NDAs. We have an abbreviation for it, for the love of. So the Manhattan District Attorney's Office signaled it needed more time to consider how to proceed. Now Trump is president-elect. They left a word out at ABC New York. Now that Trump is president-elect. The people agree that these are unprecedented circumstances, the prosecutors wrote in an email to the judge. Judge Juan Merchan gave prosecutors until November 19th. That's a week from today, another delay. As per the people's request, the people are to file with the court off calendar your view of appropriate steps going forward, Merchan wrote. Trump's lawyers have been fighting for months to reverse his conviction, which involved efforts to conceal a $130,000 payment to porn actress Stormy Daniels, whose affair allegations threatened to disrupt his 2016 campaign. And here we are years later, 8 years later, and they're still using the legal system to go after their political enemies, which just last week they said would be fascism if Trump did it. And they've been doing it for years now. Isn't that amazing? Merchan originally planned to issue a ruling Tuesday, that's today, about whether to toss the conviction on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. Trump's sentencing is scheduled for November 26th, though it could be further delayed. You know, these people are the stuff of third world civil war. They are third worlders. They're the left. For how long have I been talking about this? For well over a decade. It was the left is the third world. When the left takes over your country becomes a third world country. See, Venezuela was the wealthiest country in all of Latin America and the most functional country in all of Latin America until Hugo Chavez came along. But never mind that. Man, oh, man. There was some funny stuff. Charlie Kirk. Did you see this Charlie Kirk stuff? Charlie Kirk is fun. And he went to a college campus, talked to some college students there about the state of the world and the election and all that stuff. I made passing mention, and I want to mention it. The headline is Beaver Moon, : they love their colons. Final supermoon of 2024 rises on Friday. I'm a little bit of a moon person. I kind of like the moon. And where we live, we have great views of the moon and the sun, too. But the moon can be very cool. And this Friday, this story doesn't even describe what a supermoon is. But because the Earth's moon is in a somewhat elliptical orbit, it is on occasion closer to the planet Earth than it is on other occasions. Sometimes it's many thousands of miles away, farther away from the surface of the Earth, sometimes thousands of miles closer to the surface of the Earth. When it's closer to the surface of the Earth and we have a full moon, then that's a supermoon. And this Friday, we have the last supermoon of 2024. And I got to tell you, I already texted my best girl about it, and I've already got a little bit of a plan in place for the rise of the supermoon on Friday. Now I'll move on from the supermoon, even though I think it's kind of fun. Maybe we'll talk about it later also. Not today, but later on. And now let's go to this Charlie Kirk thing. Because Charlie Kirk, the wonderful Charlie Kirk, went to, what college campus is it? What college campus did he go to? I know I've got it here somewhere. Amazing stuff. But let's go, because he's talking to people, and there's he stops to talk to a liberal who's wearing a mask, like a surgical mask, a Wuhan mask, living in fear, always in fear. And, wants to talk to him. Said a lot of anti-Trump people, they said when Trump won, he would leave the country. And, they always say that they're going to leave the country, and then they never do, because they even lie about that. They're just crazy people. But here is the great Charlie Kirk talking to liberals about the state of the country and the world.
What's your name?
None of your business, unfortunately.
Okay, hello, nice to meet you, none of your business.
Thank you, I appreciate it. So, do you love America?
Yes, I do.
I hate America. Every state in the USA should be an independent country. What do you think of this?
Fuck, dude. Well, I just first have to ask, since you hate the country, do you plan to leave?
What do you mean by that?
Do you plan to go live in another country?
No, I do not.
Well, you're an idiot. Let me tell you something.
You're an idiot.
America is the only country where even those who hate it refuse to leave. That's how you know you live in a great country.
Can you prove that?
Can you prove that? Yeah, you're the proof of that, you idiot. Now, you got to ask him, who'd you vote for? Because that's pretty funny stuff, I've got to say. What's your name? None of your business. All right, well, I see you've been socialized by leftists. And I hate America. You hate America? Oh, you have been socialized by leftists. And that's kind of fun. And so what are you going to do about it? I'm going to leave. No, I'm not going to leave. I'm staying. I'm going to stay in the country. I hate the country, but I'm going to stay. Well, that proves it's the greatest country in the world. Well, shouldn't it be 50 different countries? Well, we have federalism. I guess you're a real hardcore 10th Amendment guy. You think that the state should have a certain amount of independence. So did the Founding Fathers. You might find that you've got something in common with them. Isn't that amazing? Now, Kamala Harris talking to people, talking to Democrats. Kamala Harris, she was almost president of the United States. You probably voted for her. Why would you vote for her?
May I have a hat?
No.
He wants free stuff.
Let me ask you, none of your business. Who do you plan to vote for?
I plan to vote for Kamala Harris.
Why?
I mean, you answered my question, so I'm done here. Like, there are people waiting.
Can you tell me her greatest accomplishment?
No, I can't.
Can you tell me a single accomplishment?
I cannot. I want to leave. Like.
Bye. These are Democrats. This is what Democrats are, and this is what they've done to education in America too. Indoctrination, brainwashing. I'd love to give him a quiz on some basic knowledge to see what he's learned during his brief and useless life. Just some basic stuff. How many planets are there? Huh? How many countries? How many continents? Start with some stuff like that. Wah, wah, wah. Democrats, look what they've done. It's the fundamental transformation of America they promised. So many stories, so little time. National Review today has Anthony Fauci St. Anthony received $15 million in U.S. Marshals security detail after he retired. $15 million in government security after he retired. Amazingly, not amazingly, President Trump won Springfield, Ohio, where the Haitians are eating your cats and dogs. He won Springfield, Ohio, and carried Clark County in Ohio with 64% of the vote in the county. And it's the first time a Republican presidential candidate won that county in at least 4 decades, because people are waking up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And a friend texted me, as separating families for deportation. We separate families in the United States every day. When we arrest fathers and arrest mothers for committing various crimes, they're separated from their families. That's prison is full of people who don't have their families with them after they are convicted of committing crimes. Just saying. Know what I'm saying? Yes. Man, oh, man. And then there's this crazy lady. Let me get to this crazy lady, this Yale professor of psychiatry. She's on her way to being a professor of psychiatry. Amanda Calhoun. She was on MSDNC talking about the upcoming holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and how you should abandon your family members if they voted for Trump.
If you are going into a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood.
Voted against you, your livelihood.
It's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why. To say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood, and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me.
She's using the word livelihood, but I don't think she knows what it means.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
She is a psychiatrist, allegedly. Ivy League, naturally, Yale. Yale psychiatrist calls it essential for liberals to cut off Trump-voting loved ones during holidays. I wouldn't say loved ones. I would use a different term there, I think, but that's me. Yes, sir. Yeah. Abandon your families. You know what? If you're in my family, I'd prefer that you not show up.